Hello, everybody. Lou and Jimmy, end of April 2013. We just want to talk a little bit about gun control. You know, what happens is that, you know, as much as myself, I don't like guns,
Me either.
okay? And Lou doesn't like guns. We think that there's a need for American law abiding citizens, to have their guns. What would have happened in Boston, okay, after, when they were looking for the two terrorists and they broke into, say one of them broke into the house and you had your family hidden in the basement, okay, that was, full of cement so that if there were bullets outside, because sooner or later they would have, flushed them out, you know, and then, wouldn't you like to know, like if somebody like that
Be
came
able to
in,
defend yourself.
that you were able to defend yourself.
Sure.
I really think that's very important, and that was in a big metropolitan area. Okay, that happened. Okay, so what about people that would really live in like a very rural area?
Farmland.
Yeah,
Farm.
if somebody came in like that, they could be hidden there for weeks.
That's right.
Who knows how long. So, with the gun control, I don't have a problem with law-abiding citizens, having guns, and, I hate, all the Congress and everything just to pass a law because
Right.
that's what they do all the time, okay? But we're not stupid. They might think we're stupid, but, we're not that dumb, and if they're just passing a law to pacify us, okay, I'm sorry, I think it's more of a problem, and nobody ever said that the government people had common sense, okay? But if you apply common sense to this, okay, there's crazy people out there, people that are mentally ill, okay? You cannot put guns, you can't put a knife, okay, you can't put a pea shooter in somebody that's mentally
Right,
ill, or a
right.
gas canister, or anything. They could do damage. Okay, so long before you get to the point, of controlling the guns and how many bullets, I think you got to do something. Okay, but we're in a conflict. Here we got Obamacare, which these people that are mentally ill wouldn't be able to get the help that they can because they're probably not going to be able to afford,
Right.
okay, medical care, but they're the same ones that carry out a lot of these plots and everything. Okay, so I think they really got to sit down and apply common sense. Okay, when I'm trying to figure something out, okay, I write everything down on an index card and I lay it out. And then what I do, I put it in order. I put the horse before the carriage and I, kind of plan it out. And then I'll review it. If I don't like it, I could move
Stretch
around
it out,
cards
yeah.
and things instead of just going off a little, let's do it this way, let's disband everybody and get guns. But also, think about this. With how they surrounded those houses, okay, in trying to flush out the terrorist, okay, and that might not be political correct. I'm sorry, he might not be a terrorist because now, he could be a combatant. I don't know, because it doesn't seem that the Obama administration is strong enough to make a decision,
He's a terrorist to me.
of what he is. But the thing is that just as easily as all those people surrounded, that 20 block area in Boston, can they be called out to take guns away from registered gun owners? Think about that. Remember the movie with Bruce Willis and Denzel Washington, The Seas? Okay, where at the end of it, okay, Bruce Willis, put all those people like in a prison camp, but, I mean, that's another extreme.
Yeah, right.
But the thing is that if they know where all the registered handguns are, there's no reason they can't do the same thing, surround the area and say, Tony and this address, come out with your gun. Joe over there, we know you got two guns. That's pretty scary. And in other countries, it's not working, like in England and Australia, where they did away with the handguns and crime is just going through the roof. So what's your feeling on that, Lou?
Well, I think where you should be able to defend yourself, especially in your own home, if somebody breaks in, I think you should be able to have a gun in your house. Me, particularly, I don't have a gun in my house. Also, on assaults, I don't think we need like assault rifles or anything like that, or
Well, let me
these
ask.
clips that shoot 30, 40 rounds. And
Well,
I can see hunting rifles,
why?
handguns.
Why does somebody go out and buy a sports car?
Right.
Okay, somebody goes out and buys a sports car. Okay, this is their entertainment. They get in the sports car and they drive it because they want the rush, the
Right.
rush of the power of the car. I could understand that with people that ride motorcycles, that they like the rush, that happens when you ride a motorcycle. And I gotta believe that, most of the people that have these assault rifles, it's more of a rush that when they go and shoot 'em, they put a watermelon or whatever they put out, like in the field, okay? And then what happens is they get this assault rifle and they just shoot it into smithereens, okay? So, to them it's a sport, it's a rush, and I could understand that, but I mean, I think that, it's not going to change. You just got to keep the guns in the right people.
Right.
And the people that are mentally that could handle a gun and everything. And I would require, okay, probably the biggest thing that's, the worst thing when you hear people get die is from, some child getting the gun in the house.
Right.
Okay? So I really think
Kid
that,
bringing a gun into school, showing his friends and everything.
years ago, if you want to become a ham radio operator, you used to have to go down to the FCC, Federal Communication Commission. But now the ARRL, takes care of the test and everything, which is a government independent agency. Okay? I could see that the government requires a safety training class.
Right.
Okay? But let some organization that has no ties to the government, like the NRA, run a program like that.
How about a mental health test too? Like, make sure they're not crazy before they get these guns and everything.
I think, but you want to keep it. I'm sorry to say, people just don't trust the government, because what happens is that when the government, and even I am sure you people in the government got to agree with me. You make a rule, okay, here's the line. Now what happens, you go and walk away, okay, say, all right, yeah, we agreed on this, and then the government takes the line and they move it here. So rightfully so, I don't think too many of us law-abiding citizens in this country really trust the government. And that's why there's always so much opposition to anything that they want to do. We got to have confidence and trust in the leaders,
yeah,
and I don't have that. I don't know how much you have on a percentage.
I always had trust in the government, the president, all these years, all the different Democratic or Republican. I had trust in them. This is the only president so far that I never had a real trust in. For some reason. I don't know.
I mean,
why not leave it up to the states then? Each state would be what? Different on that with the laws.
Well, the one thing that who I really liked as a president, and I always wanted to hear him speak, was Nixon.
Nixon.
I had a lot of respect for that guy, and Bush Jr., I liked him a lot. He seemed like a real regular guy.
Oh, yeah.
Somebody that, if you were in a bar and he was sitting at the table, okay, at the end of the bar, that you could go and just talk with him a little while and have a brewski with him. He seemed like real down to earth.
My guy was Reagan. He was #1 with me.
Do you ever watch this show, The Americans, on FX on Wednesday night?
Nah.
Oh man, it got to be one of the best shows on TV. When Reagan got shot, the Russians didn't know. They had spies in America, and they didn't know whether they did it or it was just somebody else that did it within the United States. And then what happens is that they really thought Reagan was crazy enough that if he thought it was the Russians and he just got shot, that he would have pressed the button.
Right.
And so all the spies that were in this country, they were like running around to try and get what really happened and everything. And the great part was when Haig got up there and said, "I'm in charge," then they really started to worry.
Alexander Haig, yeah.
Oh man, that's a great show. I think there's 2 more episodes on this year on FX, 10 o'clock Wednesday night. Good show to watch. See, we should be like Cisco and who's that guy? Cisco.
Ebert, yeah, he just died, I think. Right?
Yeah,
Robert Ebert.
Yeah, I mean they were both very pleasant guys, and I think he had a miserable cancer that was eating away his jaw and things. Sorry to hear that. But they were always pleasant to listen to on a Saturday afternoon. Not that anybody goes to the movies much anymore. Not
I haven't been to the movies since Titanic, I think, came out. I watched that in the movie.
Not at $14 a pop and $9 for popcorn.
And I think the movie before that was Jaws.
Really?
Jaws, that was some movie.
Yeah, I might have been maybe Jaws or something.
Yeah.
So
before that was probably The Exorcism.
So everybody, stay safe. Hug your kiss your children at night. Maybe say a little prayer. And one of the other things that I would really like to see, when after what happened in Boston, it was so great to, when they played it on the TV, the Star Spangled Banner.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I mean, we got to show unity in this country, and we have none. Okay, but there should be some common denominators. Okay, like I don't know why. The TV stations took it off. Maybe so they could stick in another minute commercial.
Or the national anthem.
Yeah, the national anthem. But we got to show the world that we're united, and we don't do that.
Do they still do the Pledge of Allegiance in schools in the morning?
Nah, in 2002, some judge came along and said, "Nah, you don't have to do that anymore." In our generation, when people came to this country, everybody learned to speak English.
It's true.
The parents, whether they were Cubans or Italians or Irish or whatever they were, you had to speak English. Chinese people came over here and they spoke English remarkably well. Okay? It's a common denominator. It's something that bonds us. The people that are coming into this country right now, okay, they don't want to be part of us. They're coming here to run away from something instead of running towards something.
Well, look in voting in New York. When you vote, the ballot has 7 different languages on it.
Oh, that's
for voting for president or something. 7 different languages on there.
Yeah, that's
unbelievable.
That's ridiculous, and that's just because the senators and the congressmen don't have the guts. You just don't have the guts to stand up and make one language, the language of this country. Make it anything you want, but make it something that's common, that everybody got to learn. Okay, what's wrong with you people? I could go on a tangent for that for about an hour.
When my grandfather came over back in the early 1900s from Italy, he learned English. He worked hard and broke his ass. And when he went into the voting booth, he was the first one online when he became a citizen at 6 o'clock in the morning. He voted. And he used to always say, after that, when he became an elderly man, and I remember him, he used to say, "God bless America," all the time.
Yeah. Yeah, I wish I could be proud enough to say that. I mean, I do love this country. I have no place to go back to except Brooklyn if things didn't work out.
Come on back. We could use it back there.
In the country. But, we need some unity in this country. Okay? And one other thing, just briefly, that just doesn't make sense to me. Okay? If you have no jobs, okay, how could you continually bring in bodies?
That's it.
No matter where they come from.
Right.
Okay? The math just doesn't add up.
There's kids with college degrees. They can't get a job. They're working in Pathmark or Home Depot for minimum wage, and they got college degrees.
And they're living at home.
And they're living at home still.
Yeah. But, the math, okay, like I said, the government is not known for common sense. Common sense will tell you. We got so many jobs. We have so many people. Okay? These people take the jobs. If you bring in more people, okay, you don't have enough jobs for them. So why are you bringing them in?
And then they go on to
Okay,
welfare.
this
stuff.
is really directed right at you, President Obama. Okay, you want to bring all these people in, and you have all these rules and regulations, and no one will be able to get through. It'll probably be a book of 900 pages, but you can't keep bringing them in if there's no jobs. Okay, and the other part of that is, if you didn't bring anybody into this country, we'll say for 10 years,
right.
Okay, the people would start to gel
That's
together.
Right. That's right.
Whether, no matter what the background is, because we always did that. That's why, especially us coming from New York City,
Brooklyn,
the melting pot of the world. Okay, we saw how it gelled, and I grew up with. And at the time in the '60s, we had Cubans living on our block, and that was like unheard of. Here, Kennedy, was blockading Cuba, and we got them, as neighbors across the street.
And they were happy to be Americans then.
Yeah, and we were happy to play
They
with
loved
them. We had a good time. I lived in a very mixed neighborhood growing up.
Yeah.
So, let's put a little common sense into these
When our armed
things.
forces come home, we should give them the jobs first.
Well, New York City and a lot of
Bring 'em home.
like police departments are very good at
Yeah.
doing it. They give them extra points and things. I think Walmart is trying, but it's kind of
Yeah.
hard with the salary that they pay. But I think we should just do a lot of better job. I call them the protectors of the world because they are. And man, we can, my own eyes, like, senators, congressmen, hello, on the income tax form, where it says donate $1 towards, re-election campaigns. How about put a box on there, that you donate money just to go to the hospitals and everything,
The Veterans
for
Association,
for the
VA.
military.
Yeah.
Okay, that comes off the top. I'd much rather write in like a $10. I'm unemployed, so right now I can't afford that much. But I'd rather write in a large amount of money, okay, if I knew it was especially going to go to help our veterans.
Right.
Okay, they make us proud every day, and they make us proud across the world.
That's right.
Anything else, Lou?
No, that's it.
Okay. As usual, everybody, we'll talk to you soon, and God bless America.